Hello, hello. All right, today on our Little Mom Life Pep Talk here, we are talking about redefining relationships. And I feel like this is something I really want to teach my kids. And I have also realized I have not been doing the best job. Um, a couple weeks ago, well, at the time of this recording, this will be like about a month, about a month ago, I really looked at my relationship that I had with my partner, my husband, and really didn't love it. I felt like we had hit the point where we were just going through the motions of life, and I was trying to like push him to come along with me and like, where do you want to go in life and what do you want to do? And um it just kind of felt like dragging somebody along. And so I just opened up the conversation with him of like, hey, what do we actually want our relationship to look like? Like, I don't want a relationship that looks like going through the motions of life. And um, I am so proud of the relationship that we've shown our kids, but I've also realized where our lacking in our relationship as far as open communication goes has affected our kids as well. And so as I was looking at that, I was like, okay, like what do we do about this? And now we're in this space of like navigating uncharted waters and redefining our entire relationship. And for me, I think it was this realization that we had never truly become friends in the beginning of our relationship. A lot of it was very physical. And then I got pregnant at 18. We got married. We were babies having babies and had just been going through the motions of life. And then I was so hung up in not getting the communication that I wanted from a partner. And I also didn't realize that my kids needed that communication from their dad. And also from me. I haven't been doing a perfect job at this because I've been like trying to like keep everybody going over here and um carrying the load. And now we're all in therapy, which has been amazing. And we are all redefining what does this relationship look like? What does my relationship to each of my kids look like? What does my relationship with my partner, like my husband, look like? And really now taking that huge step back and being able to decide how do we want this to look moving forward? And um how do I want my relationship with my kids to look moving forward? Because I feel like I had a pretty good relationship with my kids, but I've also realized how my kids are not super open. Well, my older two especially. And they got two different versions of me. So I always talk about how great it is to allow our kids to see us grow and change. And I'm now recognizing how it's also always good to look at each relationship in your life and what it looks like in this moment as you are a changed person. So for me, breath work really cracked me wide open and helped me see where I had a need and something that I was desiring from my husband and open me up to being able to express that to him. And then of course, like he has his own sovereignty. He gets to decide, can I do this or not? And in the beginning of that, even for like our entire marriage, when I would ask, it has been not. Um, and so things have continued the same, which is like my accountability of like, okay, I need to step into my power. And I'm trying to navigate this with respect for him and this conversation that I'm having with you right now, because I'm an external processor as well. So here we are having a conversation. But just navigating that with him and then me finally just being able to say like, you know what, unless things change, I can't keep going on like this. And so now we get to take a step back and we get to do the inner work. We get to do the inner work and take the pressure off of being a couple, and now let's become friends. What does that look like? Like, what does it look like if we were to really get to know each other on a much deeper level now that he's opening himself up to being emotionally available and more open? And it's been really cool. And so now with the kids, my two older girls got a different mom when they were younger. I wasn't the open mom. I wasn't the one willing to talk and have conversations. Like, they were super uncomfortable. I didn't know how to navigate it. I was a first time mom, right? We don't have a handbook on how to do all of this. You don't have a handbook on how to do all of this. And so now we get to re-navigate as I changed and then tried to open up the conversation. Well, they already had some of that conditioning from who I was and who my husband was in the beginning, like 10 years of their life. And so now we're re-navigating this through therapy, through my husband and I working on ourselves separately, and really figuring out like, who am I deep inside, and he's figuring out like, who is he deep inside. And now how do we help our kids figure out who they are and allow them the space to open up and know that like their opinions are valued, that they are seen and heard, and that they actually do get to have an opinion as a human being in our house. And just being able to open that up, because my two younger ones have gotten like this version of me. And so they are very open. They tell me everything. We talk about everything. And I do want that with my older two. So now we're redefining that. And so I just want you to take a moment today to really look at all of the relationships within your life and ask yourself, are they what I want them to be? And if not, ask yourself why. And then ask yourself, how do you want them to look? And then how do you want them to feel? And I think that when we start to like tap into this, when you start to really think about it, when you get really clear on like what you want from a relationship, like my husband and I having the conversation of like me asking him, what does a good relationship look like to you? And he was like, well, we go and do things that we enjoy together. We can go on vacation and we have a lot of fun, and we can like go out and have good conversation. And I said, okay, in our 16 years of marriage, like how often have we done that? And he just looked at me and he was like, well, never. And I think that that was a hard realization for both of us, for me to realize how long I had let that go on, and for him to realize how closed off he had been. And me not knowing how to navigate any of that. And so now we all have help to navigate all of that and to become who we want to become. And we don't have to know how we're going to get there exactly right now, right? Like sometimes I think when we look at this bigger picture of what we want, it's like, well, that seems too far away. That seems impossible. But if we just look at the here and now of like what isn't working for us and what do we want it to be like, and it sends our brain on like this whole other journey where things kind of start to naturally fall into place. So the conversation that my husband and I have had over this past week has been open and honest and vulnerable and felt really good. And it's what I've wanted all along. And it's like, now he doesn't feel like he was having to like try or to force it. And I wasn't feeling like I was having to like pry it out of him. And so just opening up the conversation and getting real honest about what you want is going to help you open up to shifting what you want to shift in your life. But it's also going to permission the other person that you're in that relationship with to open up. It's not going to be easy. I promise you that, but it will be worth it, because I truly believe in standing in your power and creating a life you love with kids in tow, whatever that may look like. And in order to do that, we have to look at our inner world. We have to look at what we desire in a relationship. They get to look at what they desire in a relationship. And at the end of the day, we get to come together and ask ourselves, like, is this the same thing? And what direction do we go from here? And so I just wanted to like offer that up. It's just a little life update, if you will. And how we're navigating. I know that a lot of people are like, don't talk about it while you're in it, but I feel like I'm really in a space that I can be open to talking about it and recognizing where it might help you who's listening so that you can shift and so that you don't have to let this go on as long as I did. And you can create an amazing life with kids in tow, whatever that may look like for you. But if we never stand in our truth or allow ourselves to open up to having that hard conversation, we're never going to get there. So, this is me giving you permission to open up the hard conversation. It is not easy, and stepping into your power. And if you want any help with this, if you want any help navigating, if you want any help navigating feeling your emotions, this is what I do. I help you feel better in life so that you can create a life you love with kids in tow, and stop shooting on yourself. Stop fearing judgment. Stop people pleasing. Stop tucking yourself away in a little box and setting it up on the shelf thinking that you need to take care of everybody else and you come second, because it's not true. And so if you want help with any of that, reach out to me on Instagram. You can also book a free integrative breath work with me, and that will just help you drop in and just truly see and get a clearer picture on what you want and desire and where your needs are. And I will talk to you next time.